Welcome fans to the Casper College Coaches Show. I'm your host Phil Kohler. Today I'm joined by the head basketball coach of the Casper College T-Birds, Mr. Sean Gutting. Sean, thanks for taking some time.
Thanks for having me.
So coach, you guys come in, you're 13-4 overall. Tell the fans that have not seen you play what you guys do well as a team. Talk a little bit about where the season's at so far.
Yeah, this group's really unique. I mean, over the last couple of years, we've done a really good job, I think, in our program of being a fast-paced, high-energy group of kids. Really try and get the ball at the floor and score it. Try and play a fun style that, also is really capable of helping us win. And this group this year has really embraced it, especially kind of towards the end of the first semester, leading into the second semester. We've scored over 90, over 100 in the last 5 games. We've shown how capable we are of really running it up. So it's a really fun group to watch.
Sure. So Coach, of your 4 losses, 3 of them have been to teams that are ranked in the top 10 in the country. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what that difficult schedule is going to do for you guys as the season goes on.
Sure. I think it was important to us, especially in the offseason and the last couple of years, of really trying to find high-level quality opponents before we get into conference play. Guys that will test us both athletically, physically, and mentally. Playing teams like Indian Hills, Salt Lake, and CSI, who are notoriously really good, and again this year have really great teams. That experience is only positive for us. No matter how it ends up, knowing that it's giving us a chance to be prepared for anything we see come conference play, and aren't surprised by the time when the games really matter.
Sure. So Monday night, you guys get a big win on the road at NJC. You guys get Jamison Epps back. He plays really well. Tell us a little bit about how that game went.
Yeah, I think it's never easy, as any junior college coach would tell you, to drive 4.5 hours to get off the bus and play somebody. Yeah. So it really requires a lot of mental toughness and physical toughness from your group. And I was looking forward to this game particularly to kind of see how the guys responded with that. And, we were a little sluggish to start the game. I think NJC was as well, just probably coming back from break. But it was nice having Epps back on the floor and, at least kind of helped our depth. And we were able to fight through, some adversity. We didn't shoot it particularly well in the first half, but we were able to get to the foul line. Kennard Richardson was immaculate. I mean, he was the best game he's had in his career at Casper and probably in college. So that helps. The guy goes for 35 points. You're not going to complain a whole lot. Sure. I think having Epps back gave us the depth that we really were missing. It helped us in the second half rebounding, scoring it around the rim, giving us another 5th option on the floor to score it.
Sure.
So, and it showed. It showed once we, with the little runs we went on, our bench was really helpful with that as well. And, we were able to hold on the lead.
So you talk about depth. You guys unfortunately got hit by the injury bug a little bit over break. Talk a little bit about where Cy Yetkin, Andrea Maric, where those guys are at and with their injuries and recovery.
Cy unfortunately tore his ACL in the last game before semester, which is really sad because he was really starting to figure it out and really starting to become an important piece to our chances of winning. So he ended up having surgery over break, so he'll be out for 8 to 12 months depending on how his rehab goes. And hopefully he'll be back in a T-Bird uniform once it's all said and done. Maric is fighting a broken nose right now, but we got him a face mask, and he's going to give it a go this weekend, and we'll just kind of see how he goes and how he progresses over the next 2 weeks with that. And I'm sure it'll take a lot for him to get used to playing with that thing and looking like Batman, but hey, it's the price you got to pay to play.
Sure. So you lose 2 guys from your normal rotation. Just an opportunity for guys to step up. Talk a little bit about some of those guys that are going to be guys that are filling roles, stepping into some of those depth roles.
Yeah, I think it really honestly just puts an onus on our freshmen to grow up quickly. The good thing is that those guys have had experience here in the first semester. Jaden Peters from LA, doesn't really, hadn't really got many chances to show what he could do to help us win, but the kid plays hard. He has great effort all the time, and he's already made impacts in games that's helped us win over the last, this week. And I expect that to keep growing and keep going forward. Tyler Pacheco, the local kid, was in a situation where, we weren't sure how much he was going to play. Well, now it's a numbers game. What are you willing to bring to the table, and can you prove yourself to be on the floor, in tight, big games, right? Darius Robinson, who has had flashes of looking great in the first semester. Now it puts a little bit more pressure on him to be productive all the time. And it's great kids that are talented, and worked really hard, have been very consistent in practice. So as much as it's unfortunate to lose guys, I'm excited for the fact that we get to see what those guys can do and what they bring to the table. They're getting the opportunity they seek to come to college.
Certainly that next man up mentality, and we've seen so far over the couple of games that you've had a chance to play before break that those guys have stepped into those roles really nicely.
Definitely. They haven't fought it. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this weekend you guys host Western Nebraska and NJC. Western Nebraska Friday, NJC on Saturday. We kind of have an idea of NJC on Saturday since we saw them last week. Tell us about what we can expect from Western Nebraska on Friday.
They are a really talented group, have a lot of returners from last year's team in their starting five, guys that really started to grow and show just how good they were late in the season. So they're a scary bunch. They're a scary bunch. When they kind of get going, they can really fill it up. So that'll be a really good test for us. I'd imagine both them and NJC will finish on the top, close to the top of the league on the south side of the region. Beating them is really going to be important for us, and also just to be great to show how good we can be.
Sure, absolutely. So then next weekend you guys travel to Powell for your first conference game. Tell us a little bit about what the northern part of the conference is going to look like this year. I know it kind of changes year in and year out. Who are going to be some of the better teams in the conference? What can we kind of expect from the conference season?
I'll tell you this year there is no drop off. In the past years you've seen, probably 2 or 3 teams that are really fighting for the top spot. This year I expect every team in the north to do it. It's a wide open league. None of us have a ton of returners. All of us are kind of in the same situation where we have 3 or 4 guys that have been here before. So we're all kind of starting over from scratch. But each team has shown in their non-league games that they can win. Northwest has a great record right now, and they've competed against really good teams. Western Wyoming's Western Wyoming. We know what they're going to be bringing to the table with Coach Sosa. Central Wyoming has improved. They have a really talented bunch this year. LCCC, probably the most talented team in the league, just 1 through 12. So I really do think that it is wide open this year, which should be exciting for fans and people who follow it. And get the chance to see, who ends up coming out on top.
Excellent. So, Coach, Friday 7 o'clock versus Western Nebraska. Yep. Saturday 4 o'clock versus NJC. For those fans that can't make it, we're going to be live here on the YouTube channel. Jack Noakes bringing you all the action. Pregame will start at 6:50 on Friday night. Coach, anything to add?
Go T-Birds.
Go T-Birds. Fans, thanks for tuning in this week. Next week we will be back with Coach Canary and Coach Gutting to follow along with the T-Bird action all year long. Thanks for tuning in.